15. The 15 most terrifying banned products in North Korea. No Coca-Cola, no medicine, and even worse, no sanitary towels or condoms. It seems unbelievable. And yet these are some of the most absurd and ridiculous rules that the North Korean people are forced to endure. Today we will discover together 15 of the most frightening bans imposed by the North Korean government. These banned products will give us a clearer idea of the secret life inside this nation frozen in time. Number 15. Sanitary towel ban. North Korea's supreme leader, Kim Jong-un, rules the country with a dictatorial style, attracting heavy criticism and international economic sanctions. In North Korea, even the simplest and most basic products for daily life are considered illegal. The ban that has shocked and outraged the world concerns the prohibition for women to buy and use sanitary towels during their menstrual cycle. Sanitary towels are never found in North Korean stores. It may seem unbelievable, but to cope with this reality, it is believed that many North Korean women make their own sanitary pads using pieces of cotton cloth available at home, trying to reuse them as much as possible. However, using cloth pads leads to numerous health problems. If not washed and sanitized properly, these fabrics can promote the growth of bacteria and mold. Contact with bacteria and mold can cause infections. Furthermore, if not cleaned properly, the pads can cause unpleasant odors and discomfort. It is certain that North Korean women suffer greatly from this situation, but unfortunately there is no way to help them. The sale of these products is absolutely prohibited. Anyone caught selling sanitary pads on the black market risks imprisonment and horrible torture. Number 14. Coca-Cola. If you are a fan of fizzy drinks like Coca-Cola, then avoid North Korea at all costs, because holding a can of Coke in your hand and drinking it could land you straight in jail. Before 2015, there were only 2 countries in the world where Coca-Cola was banned, Cuba and North Korea. When the drink was finally legalized in Cuba, North Korea remained the only country in the world without Coca-Cola. The company itself has stated that if its products are sold in North Korea or Cuba, it is exclusively through illicit trafficking, never through official channels. In fact, Coca-Cola always tries to stay out of political conflicts. However, Coca-Cola is a brand strongly linked to the United States with a history intertwined with crucial events such as World War II and the Cold War. This connection makes Coca-Cola a symbol to be contested and boycotted. It should be remembered that everything coming from the United States is subject to an embargo by North Korea. If a North Korean dares to drink Coca-Cola in public, it is considered an act of dissent against the government and can lead to deportation to labor camps or a long prison sentence. Number 13. Ban on the sale of medicines. Have you ever wondered why the mortality rate in North Korea is extremely high compared to the rest of the world? It's because the population rarely has access to medicine and proper medical care. Medical treatment in North Korea is theoretically free, which sounds good, but it's not what you might think. The regime deducts about 1% of citizens' monthly salaries as health insurance, and the state covers all medical expenses, including visits, prescriptions, surgeries, and medications. This system was started in the early 1950s, expanded nationwide in the 1960s, and continues to this day. However, in an isolated country like North Korea, it is not possible to guarantee a sufficient supply of medicines and health services through local production alone. North Korea constantly suffers from a severe shortage of medicines. Those who have managed to cross the border report that despite numerous complaints at the basic medical level, medicines are rarely provided, even though people continue to pay the national health tax every year. Even worse is the fact that the North Korean government does not even allow private pharmacies. All types of medicine can only be dispensed at state-run health facilities, thus forcing every citizen to pay this health tax. Number 12. Ban on McDonald's. Just like Coca-Cola, McDonald's is also banned in North Korea, so no one can order a Big Mac, a portion of fries or any of the dishes on the famous menu. However, according to the Telegraph, the country's wealthiest get around the sanctions by buying McDonald's through the national airline Air Koryo. Some wealthy individuals buy sandwiches at restaurants in Pyongyang. Kim Jong-il even claimed to have created a burger called Goja Bang, described as a double meat sandwich. It is known that Kim Jong-un studied in Europe, where he became fond of fast food, including cheese and McDonald's. His physique shows that wine, foreign cigarettes and fast food are among his favorite pleasures. However, once again, the people are not allowed to even go near these products. Otherwise, prison is always ready to welcome them. Number 11. I tell you to use the North Korean won. Incredible but true, you are not allowed to use the North Korean won, not even in North Korea. It seems absurd, but it is the reality. Tourists are forbidden to use the North Korean national currency. In shops aimed at foreigners, visitors can pay in euros, South Korean wons, and even US dollars, but never with the North Korean won. When there is no precise change, customers receive change in different currencies, equivalent to the amount to be returned. This is a blatant contradiction in the North Korean economy. The country's banking system is blocked by international sanctions, but at the same time it does not give up its desire to strengthen its domestic currency. The official exchange rate is still promoted as a value controlled by the state. However, the population limits the use of the won in order to avoid hyperinflation and to try to improve their living conditions as much as possible. In reality, there is a second exchange rate. About 8,000 North Korean wons are equivalent to $1. This topic is taboo and officially denied to foreigners, but it is known and recognized by everyone, and ironically this very prohibition helps to strengthen their currency. Number 10. Internet ban. North Korea does not hide from its use of the internet. Many cyber attacks have been attributed to North Korean hackers. However, for ordinary citizens the internet is a tightly controlled luxury. Most North Koreans can only access a domestic network called Gwangmung. The websites available are mainly from state and government organizations. The entire internet infrastructure is managed by the North Korean government with security services seamlessly integrated into the telecommunications network. Online activities are monitored by a state agency called Bureau 27, or the Broadcast Surveillance Bureau. North Koreans still use phones, including smartphones. These devices imported from China are then labeled with North Korean brands. Most are inexpensive devices running the Android operating system equipped with user tracking software and state-provided services. Some people buy locked smartphones smuggled in from China to access the internet, but they risk arrest and heavy fines. Computers in North Korea run on a Linux-based operating system called Red Star. Like smartphones, computers also come with pre-installed software to monitor the user's activities. Anyone attempting to access the international network is immediately arrested, especially if they intentionally visit cultural content from Europe or South Korea. The penalties for such people are severe. Number 9. Ban on South Korean cultural products. Pornography and South Korean cultural products are strictly prohibited in North Korea. Even watching them once can cost you your life. This is not a myth. North Korea has executed many people for buying, owning, or watching South Korean cultural DVDs. In recent years, South Korea has built a highly influential cultural scene. Its music and film productions attract millions of fans around the world. As South Korean culture grows and spreads, the North Korean government becomes increasingly strict in controlling its infiltration. Fearing a veritable cultural invasion, Kim Jong-un does not hesitate to resort to the most extreme punishments to warn the population. In 2013, around 80 people were publicly executed in 7 North Korean cities for the crime of possessing South Korean cultural products. There is no mercy for these people. The goal is to intimidate others and protect the regime's power. Number 8. Ban on blue jeans. If you ever have to visit North Korea, leave all your jeans at home. Wearing them there could lead to serious consequences. In this country, jeans are considered a symbol of global imperialism. North Korean women often wear classic 1940s dresses, such as factory workers' uniforms, military uniforms, or traditional hanboks. In the capital, Pyongyang, clothing is strictly controlled, although there are no official documents regulating it. Youth League patrol teams stop and question anyone they deem to be dressed inappropriately. Women wearing short, tight-fitting dresses or jeans are among the prime targets. What to wear and how to appear in public is no longer a matter of personal choice. It is a matter of strict policies and regulations. In North Korea, fashion is the most immediate and visible way to express one's political views. Information in the country is heavily censored by the government, so regulations and punishments are not always made public. However, according to independent sources and international organizations, those wearing Western-style clothing are often seen as an ideological threat to Kim Jong-un's regime. For this reason, such individuals are treated as political prisoners and not simply subject to administrative sanctions or short-term detention. Number 7. Hairstyle regulations. Not only are there absurd regulations on clothing, but also the hairstyles of each individual are tightly controlled by this national government. Last year, North Korea published a list of 28 standardized hairstyles for its citizens. Pyongyang described these 28 hairstyles as capable of preventing the bad influence of bourgeois capitalism and called them the most comfortable of all. Among them, 18 are for women and 10 for men. Women are somewhat favored, as the number of styles permitted for them is almost double that of men. Married women can add a personal touch to their hair, such as waves. But it is not only the number of cuts that are limited. North Korean men must also follow a series of very specific rules imposed by the government. For young men, the hair must not exceed 5 centimeters in length and must be cut every 2 weeks. Pyongyang believes that long hair deprives the brain of nutrients, so it is better to keep it short. Older men can have slightly longer hair, but not more than 7 centimeters. Another interesting fact is that North Korean men seem to be forbidden from adopting the style of leader Kim Jong-un, shaved on the sides and long on top, because this hairstyle does not appear on the official list. This is actually a very common haircut in the West in the 90s, admired by many. And it is truly ironic for the world to see an entire nation forced to cut their hair according to regulations to avoid looking Western, while their leader has a haircut that contradicts the entire nation. Number 6. Ban on foreign cigarettes. Never bring cigarettes from other countries into North Korea, otherwise you will be immediately accused of smuggling. Since 2005, when the tobacco control law was enacted, North Korea has continued to tighten its smoking regulations. This law has been amended to restrict the import of foreign cigarettes and ban e-cigarettes and smokeless tobacco. In addition, the country has extended the smoking ban to public places and buildings, posting no smoking signs on the walls of businesses and residential areas. Kim Jong-un also strictly forbids his subordinates from smoking foreign cigarettes. According to Kim Jong-un, there is no need for foreign cigarettes if the domestically produced ones are of good quality. The North Korean leader considers smoking foreign cigarettes an unpatriotic act and has therefore strictly banned their use among officials. But once again, Kim Jong-un has become a living joke, as journalists constantly catch him smoking foreign cigarettes. North Korean state media published a photo of Kim holding a cigarette in his right hand during a visit to a children's camp in Pyongyang. And inside sources reveal that it is a French brand with a price tag of up to $70 per cigarette. It must be admitted that Kim Jong-un has refined tastes and wants North Korea to remain isolated so that only he can enjoy these pleasures. Number 5. Ban on buying private homes. In a country like North Korea, the housing system is completely different from the rest of the world. Here, the government applies a housing allocation system to solve the population's housing problems. In practice, it is the state that builds the houses and distributes them to those in need. But this also means that all housing is either state-owned or collectively owned, and ordinary citizens have very little chance of owning a private home. Many might think that such an allocation system is a good thing, but in reality, the distribution of housing depends on profession, social status, and many other factors. Those who really need a home are almost never relocated, as most housing goes to officers and their children, especially those in military positions. Even homes built by citizens themselves are sometimes confiscated for redistribution, since they were built on state land. For this reason, housing in North Korea is often very basic. People know full well that in the end they will never own it. Number 4. Ban on buying cars. You can't imagine how difficult it is to buy a car in North Korea. As of 2019, the country had about 23,000 cars for a population of about 25 million people, and these were mostly government vehicles for the police or the army. There are many reasons for the low number of cars per capita: restrictive laws, high prices, and a non-existent market. Before 2017, owning a car in North Korea was nearly impossible, despite the domestic automotive industry having existed since the 1950s. North Korean law does not allow citizens to own cars, except in special cases for work or government agencies. However, since 2017, legislation has been in place that allows individuals to purchase private vehicles, arguing that personal cars can positively contribute to the country's transportation system. However, registering and purchasing a car remains an extremely complicated process with bureaucratic procedures that require family approvals and detailed reasons for the purchase. Number 3. A ban on religious books. Remember, you are not allowed to bring any religious texts into North Korea. Whether it's the Bible, Buddhist scriptures, or any other religious documents, they are all off limits. Religious books and beliefs from abroad are prohibited, and anyone caught with them risks severe penalties. According to the latest report on international religious freedom, the North Korean government continues to execute, torture, arrest, and repress anyone who participates in even the most basic religious activities. This isolated and information-poor country limits access to detailed information about these incidents, making it difficult to even estimate the actual number of religious groups present and the number of followers. Religious persecution has occurred several times in the country's history, most notably in 1992, when over 100 Christians were executed or sent to labor camps for missionary activities. Today, you can see churches in North Korea, but they are built solely to deceive the international media and tourists. The monks are all actors, and Christianity is considered the enemy of the regime, a symbol of Western influence. Number 2. The ban on condoms. It may seem incredible, but most North Koreans do not even know what condoms are. A few decades ago, they were available on the black market, but they were rare. Today, it is practically impossible to buy condoms because the population does not feel the need for them. Of course, in North Korea, men and women marry and have sex like everywhere else. However, there is a complete lack of basic sex education, and talking about family planning is still taboo. As a result, when boys and girls reach puberty and start to worry about their sexual health, there is nowhere where they can get information on how to have safe sex. This complete lack of education leads to low awareness of sexually transmitted diseases, especially among women. Those who contract one of these diseases often face shame and discrimination, and many people even avoid medical treatment for fear that the disease will become the greatest humiliation of their lives. Number 1. The ban on earrings and hair dyeing. In North Korea, you will never see anyone with blonde, red, green, or rainbow hair. Everyone must have black hair. The only exception is for gray hair. It can be dyed, but only black. Anyone who dyes their hair a different color risks being punished, both the customer and the hairdresser. In North Korea, hair dyes are considered symbols of bourgeois ideology and are therefore forbidden. Similarly, wearing earrings, having your earlobes pierced, or having a belly button piercing is seen as a sign of the imperialist and decadent influence of the West. Just like jeans or dyeing, earrings can also get in trouble for those who violate these rules. The North Korean fashion police can intervene even if a person wears 2 simple earrings, one in each ear. If you are traveling to this country, be careful about the accessories you wear. Today, North Korea is open to tourism, but not many are brave enough to risk breaking its strict laws, despite the mysterious allure that this country continues to exert. And with that, we have taken an in-depth look into the mysterious world of life in North Korea. These chilling bans are just a few of the many ways in which the government controls and influences the daily lives of its citizens. We hope this video has helped you to better understand this very different reality and that it inspires you to continue learning and sharing this knowledge. Who are you hanging out with? I hope you enjoyed today's video. If so, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future exciting videos. Your support helps us continue creating even better content. Be sure to watch the next video that pops up on your screen. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Don't forget to leave a comment about the country you'd like us to explore next. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.